morning and welcome to another day. We just camped at the Cunningham Falls State Park, which we're not far from Washington DC. And now we're just going to go look at our waterfall. So we're just at the Cunningham Falls trailhead and we're going to take a short walk. It's 1 mile. It's a loop track. So this looks like it could be a bear area. And you look down there and the picnic tables are there all ready for them. Teddy bear's picnic if anyone didn't get it. Lots of berries here for the bear.
If the humans haven't eaten them first.
Yeah. When we got to the Cunningham Falls, it was just a trickle. So we headed on a loop walk instead. If we had to come from our campground this morning, we could have come down here, but we didn't. Watch your step, snakes. Watch where you put your hands and feet. Wear long pants and boots. Avoid piles of rock, wood and brush. Do not attempt to handle or kill snakes. And stomp your feet. They'll hear you coming and hopefully get out of your way.
Some of the reviews said that this is a difficult track to follow, but it's not. As long as you keep an eye on the yellow markers.
So that looks like the trail down there, but
over there.
the yellow marker's there. So if you're doing this walk, just follow the yellow markers because you could potentially get lost or go on an unexpected adventure, I like to call them. Or you can follow the signs. Or you can follow the All Trails map, which is free to download and use. We actually paid for the pro version. It didn't cost very much, and that allows us to download the maps for when you're offline, and most of the time we are offline, so it's been very helpful. You arrive in an area and you bring up your All Trails and it'll show you all the trails in the area. And they also have like a level, it shows you the levels. You can read people's reviews, you can see who was here recently, whether the track's muddy, what sort of condition it's in. And we're finding it really good. So that was it, nice little 40-minute walk. That's our exercise for the morning done. Now we're off to Pennsylvania. Going to go to some of these small Amish towns and see if we can get an Amish meal somewhere. Just crossed over into Pennsylvania. New state for both of us. And I got a picture of the sign this time. Fresh seafood frozen. Sounds really appetizing. We just come into the town of York in Pennsylvania. It's got a real England feel about it. We were going to go to the Central Market in York, but there was no parking, so we had to give that one a miss. So now we're just going to head for Strasbourg. Just heading over a big bridge over the Susquehanna River. So we're just on the outskirts of Lancaster, and it's got a real European feel, this town. It could have been something we could have cycle toured into last year over the Rhine River. So we're just heading to Katie's kitchen. Gonna try some Amish food for lunch, see what that's all about. They bought us a starter of bread rolls and homemade peanut butter. I couldn't eat the rolls as they were too sweet for my taste buds, but Mike enjoyed them.
It's not quite as strong as just peanut butter that we've been used to, and the bread's slightly sweet.
For lunch, I had a meat pasta type thing, and Mike had a corned beef and sauerkraut sandwich. Find some camping, but there doesn't really seem to be anything. We're heading towards Ricketts Glen. There's supposed to be lots of nice waterfalls and stuff there. We're just at Lake Locust State Park. Nice camping spot here. Lake just down there. Just here for a night, just to stop over. Today we're heading to Ricketts Glen State Park as some walks there to do, some waterfalls. Bit of a windy old road to get there. Got a new fridge magnet, this time for Pennsylvania. Doesn't say Pennsylvania, but it's got Ricketts Glen State Park on it, so that's good enough for me. And we're going to go do the waterfall hike. Going to start putting some on your side soon, Mike.
Nah, I'm not going to have any on my side.
So we're just at Ricketts Glen State Park. Ricketts Glen State Park covers an area of over 13,000 acres, and we're going to be doing the waterfall walk. There's a closure here, so we're up here. We're going to come down here, come down here, look at the waterfalls there, come there, look at these waterfalls, and then have to backtrack. Normally it would be a loop. I seem very busy and noisy and hot in that car park. You get into these trees and it's instant serenity.
Here you have deer enclosures to keep deer out, whereas in New Zealand we have deer enclosures to keep deer in. Now they're kept out here to stop overgrazing of the forest.
And they're kept in New Zealand because they eat them. Quite funny, we're out for a nice peaceful walk. We just got caught up in a huge group from Texas. So we felt like we had something in common because we lived in Texas for 5 weeks.
It's so pretty down through here.
It really is. Ricketts Glen State Park. If you're ever in Pennsylvania, come and check it out. It's not one of the more, well, I don't know, I'd never heard of it before. Such a beautiful walk along the river here. You don't get much better than this. That big waterfall's coming up. Want to watch your step. Looking a bit slippery. This is the one we just saw from up the top. Absolutely stunning. It's got to be the prettiest waterfall walk I've ever done. There's just waterfalls at every turn. The only negative I got to say about it, it's a pity the loop's not working because we've got to walk back the way we came up all those steps. I've actually lost count of what waterfall number we're at, but I think there's 21 in total in this park, but because some of the area's blocked off, you can only see 18. But still, that's a fair amount of waterfalls to see.
So we just walked all the way down here, we've gone down there a little bit, and then we're going to come back up here and have a look at ozone.
And then we just have to backtrack. Sometimes I feel like trails aren't long enough, but this one just seems to be going forever. So much beautifulness, so many waterfalls. About as far as we can get before we have to turn around and go back because of a cliff collapse. Ozone falls. So I don't know why, but it just seems so much easier coming uphill than it did going downhill. That's always the case for me. 2 hours down, 45 minutes back up. Go figure. But we've met some wonderful people along this hike and telling us places to go. People are just so friendly, we find. And they love sharing the places to go visit.
We've got a few more stops to make.
Yeah, well, Watkins Glen, a lovely couple with their dog just recommended that. That's already on our radar. We're going there tomorrow. Today, we're leaving Pennsylvania and we're heading into New York. And our first stop's going to be the Watkins Glen State Park, which has got some beautiful waterfall walks, apparently even more beautiful than what we saw yesterday. It was 20 degrees this morning, that's 20 degrees Celsius, and I had to put my jumper on. It's starting to sound like a Queenslander. So Watkins Glen is in the Finger Lakes, and the Finger Lakes are like they look like fingers on the map. So they're long, skinny Finger Lakes. And we hope to spend a bit more time exploring them. And also want to go up to Niagara Falls too. So that's the plan. crossed into New York. It's exciting. Some massive old houses through here. They look really neat. I'd love to have one to do up. So just at Watkins Glen State Park, just got parking here. It's $10. Now we're going to go for a walk to see all the waterfalls. I had grand plans to do this at 9 AM this morning, but it's now 10:30. So even despite getting away early, we're still late. The first of the many gushing waterfalls we'd like you to see. Watkins Glen is a state park in the Finger Lakes region in New York, and is home to 19 waterfalls along a 1.5-mile gorge trail. The park was established in 1906 and is one of the most popular state parks in New York, and it's free to visit. The waterfalls were formed by Glen Creek, which descends 400 feet over the course of the trail. Very busy area, very popular. All the people winding their way up there. We'll be joining them in a minute. What's next up there?
Here you can see how the water erodes around into circles.
Caught in a traffic jam, a people jam.
And it's not the weekend.
We had planned to get here at 8 o'clock this morning. Well, I had, and Mike says, no, it'll be fine, it's a Thursday. Got caught up amongst a big group. Starting to get a bit claustrophobic in there. So we just reached the 1 mile turnaround point where they recommend people turn around, but you can go a bit further up, and we're going to do that.
And then go along the north.
And there's some steps that you can go up and then go along the north rim, where there's some overlooks. Big bridge up there. 180 steps. That's not many, is it, Mike? You counting? So I recommend getting here early if you're going to do it, before, you know, all the tour buses come in. We got caught in a cluster of tour buses, I think, because we just met another couple of people now. This is like 2 hours later, and they said there's hardly anyone down there. 10 o'clock was probably a bad time to start. So we've just been to Watkins Glen, it's just down here. Now we're driving up the side of the first finger, and then we're going to duck across to Niagara Falls. And after we've done Niagara Falls, we're going to come back and do some more of the fingers.
So the Finger Lakes were produced by the Ice Age. The glaciers coming down, leaving deposits, and retracting and leaving another deposit at the other end. And the water filled up in the middle, in between.
We left Watkins Glen and drove to Niagara Falls. When we got there, we found there was no camping or even overnight parking. A storm was forecast, so we made the decision to stay in a hotel for the night. They gave us a nice room overlooking the Canadian skyline and front row seats to the fireworks. Join us in the next episode where we visit the Niagara Falls. I'm walking to Canada! Explore waterfalls in the Finger Lakes.
Do you want to make a fluffy cake today? Buttermilk is good for it.
And have an unexpected trip to urgent care. So now we're having to go to the emergency room, which is what they recommended at the campground to do. But that's the story for next week. Thanks for watching.